Alright, hello! Today we're taking a look at a new arcane that got introduced in Jade Shadow's Constellations, and it's called Primary Compression. Primary Compression is probably one of the weirdest arcanes that I have ever seen in my life, in that it works in a weird way depending on what playstyle you choose, and it only buffs a very few guns that I haven't even thought about yet most likely, but in general it's just a very weird arcane. So let's begin. What the arcane reads is, when you're aiming, you get 20% of your regular explosion radius, and you get 100% damage and 5.5% ammo efficiency for every meter of explosion radius that you have lost. Now, if you actually check the stats when you equip this arcane, you won't actually see any explosion radius lost, but that is because this arcane only works when you're aiming down sights. Now, this has two things that it implies. First of all, if you, for some reason, throw the bullet and aim after the bullet flies, before it connects, then you will just not get the ammo efficiency, and you will only get the negative radius and the extra damage, which is weird. So basically, depending on when you're aiming, you get a different scenario of how the bullet will work. If you're aiming all the time, obviously, you know, the arcane just works normally, it is what it is, you get ammo efficiency and then you get the less explosion radius, but more damage. Now here comes the interesting part, and this is like the only case where you would use this arcane on an actual explosive weapon, in my opinion. If you aim, for some reason also, the UI is bugged on this arcane, I'll showcase it later. There is something that happens that shouldn't happen normally, but as you can see, 910.08% damage is listed on the top right. There are some guns that have primary fires and alt fires, where the arcane does work but doesn't actually list what damage it provides. So when we're aiming, we'll see that obviously it happens, but if we aim and then unaim by the end, we get the ammo efficiency but without actually losing the explosion radius. What we're losing is the damage, but we're not losing the ammo efficiency. So as you can see, I can shoot 6 bullets in mag on my Ogress. I lose the damage from the arcane, but I benefit from the ammo efficiency. So that is like the only reason why you would ever use this. And if you truly want ammo efficiency on an explosive weapon, I feel like you can do primary cracks, because explosive weapons, even though they cannot headshots normally, they can trigger headshots things. So for example, if you have primary deadhead, you can trigger primary deadhead with your explosive weapon of choice. So this arcane, as you can see, it's very weird. I don't really see a reason why you would use this on your explosive weapon. As you can see, especially with a heavy caliber Ogres that I have right here, it becomes extremely just weird to use and basically unusable on a weapon like this. And in general, just cutting your AoE completely for the sake of damage is not something that I would be willing to do on any of my explosive weapons. I don't feel the reason to. And if you want to aim and then add an ADS to benefit from the ammo efficiency, like, yeah, sure, that's cool, but it doesn't really work. Now, this arcane does bring a new Stahlta build for 2026. There is an issue, right? When you have this arcane on the Stahlta, if I actually aim down my sights, it won't benefit from the arcane, or it will show the arcane, but it's gonna be blank completely. As you can see, it seems like it doesn't give me any damage whatsoever. If we check the damage that we actually deal from this, we will see that the arcane does actually work, and that also this build is not supposed to be like this, I believe at least. I think I did Firestorm instead of Bane. So now, with Stahlta, if you actually aim down the sights and we shoot the alt fire, we do see that we only use 10 bullets in the magazine. Even though the arcane indicates that it shouldn't work and that it should give me 0% effectiveness on anything, the arcane does work and does provide me both damage and ammo efficiency. So this is a UI bug. And on the wiki itself, if you guys actually check the wiki, so far the wiki is still being made, but on the notes it said, when equipped on weapons with multiple firing modes, the explosion radius of the first firing mode listed in the arsenal will be used. That's not true. That is true for the UI version of this arcane, for some reason only. Now, does this mean that the alt fire of the weapon gets crazy once you equip this arcane on it and you actually use the alt fire? Yes. Yes, it does. Quite a bit too. So you get 3 shots most of the time. If you have any extra magazine capacity, you will use 4. Now I use 2 for some reason. Like, there's definitely some weird interaction with it. Like, why would I use 2 shots instead of 3 on some shots? Like, I don't really know. Maybe I am ADS. I think that's probably it. But as you can see, it uses 11 bullets instead of 20. I would love if it used less, but the damage gets pretty crazy. And also, I feel like here I should be able to use the Stahlta again with the alt fire, but for some reason, like right now, the Stahlta takes 11 bullets per alt fire. If I use it now, then I should be able to alt fire, but it reloads instead because the game detects that I don't have enough bullets in magazine to use the alt fire. For something like energized munitions, this doesn't actually happen. Like if I go ahead and showcase, I should have an energized munitions. Yep. Like with energized munitions, right? I'm gonna do it without the arcane by not aiming. You will see that we use 5 bullets in the magazine, and when we drop below 20, it will actually keep shooting. Just normally, the calculation is taken into account and it keeps shooting normally as long as it has 5 bullets remaining. I don't know why it doesn't happen with this arcane. I feel like this arcane has a few inconsistencies and bugs that don't work right now. But the damage on the Stahlta Altfire itself when you use the arcane is kinda crazy. Like, you can just leave the Stahlta completely unstacked, shoot an Altfire, if you hit someone on the head, they die, 100%. Which is really strong in my opinion, and it makes the weapon really good. I don't know if it makes it better than it already is, because the primary fire now becomes pretty hindered compared to what it used to be. Like, without Deadhead, it still does okay damage, but nothing too crazy. Before, with Deadhead, the damage difference is insane. But with Deadhead, when you compare the alt fires, you will see that with compression, you do triple the amount of damage that you would do compared to Deadhead. So it is a pretty big difference when it comes to the alt fire of this weapon. But yeah, I'm not sure what the issue is. Obviously for the primary fire, the arcane doesn't work at all. It will only work on the firing mode that you actually shoot. And this works on any weapon with dual firing modes. It works the exact same way with any weapon with dual firing modes. The issue is I don't really see any other weapon that you would want to do this on that has dual firing modes, as, you know, those don't really matter. Maybe the Comorix, but the Comorix explosive radius isn't that much anyways. And, you know, there are some other weapons that I've tested, and there is another weapon that does work really well with this arcane that we'll showcase. But in general, you see all of these weapons like Aeolac, doesn't really matter. Like Exceltra Prime, you wouldn't do this, doesn't give enough damage. I don't even know. Like, I'm not sure what this arcane is supposed to be and what gun it's supposed to be used on, other than the Stahlta. Like, you can use this on the Stahlta on the Altfire and it's good, but other than this weapon, I really don't see any reason to use this. So I am gonna go to a mission. We're gonna try to hit like a really high damage number. Most likely it will be a damage cap, since, you know, we are on the Stahlta. And yeah, we'll just see what we can do. But I have only found a usage for this arcane for exactly 2 weapons in the entire game. Is it good on those 2 weapons? Yes, it's very good on those 2 weapons. And again, this opens a new Stahlta build for 2026, which just changes one mod and one arcane. But I can call, wow, we have a new Stahlta build for 2026, because people are always asking me if there is a new Stahlta build, and I keep telling them that this game doesn't really change, so no, there isn't. But yeah. So yes, the arcane will work on weapons with altfires that have explosive radius on the altfires, but only on those altfires themselves. And if you want to keep the explosive radius, you can simply throw it, benefit from the ammo efficiency, and then an ADS. Like that. And that will give you, I think that will probably give you both the damage on the initial hit and the explosive radius after. So that is very interesting. This could be like something that actually works quite well. Wait, let's test it. So if I do this, oh shit, wait. Yes, that works exactly like that. So if you ADS and you shoot and then you un-ADS before the explosion, you keep the explosion radius too, but you lose the damage for the explosion radius, which doesn't really matter as you don't really care. So In theory, this can be a really strong weapon for this. But yeah, the damage is absolutely nuts, even with like nothing, no type of damage buffs or anything. Just fire rate from Wisp, so you can pretty much fix the biggest issue this weapon has, which is its fire rate on the alt fire being really slow. You deal 61 million damage. Like, you deal a lot of damage. And obviously, if we ever find Neximus unit and I just use the compress on him, because this weapon has multico, we're gonna see some really big numbers here. And in general, the Stahlta has always been good. I don't think it's anything changes here, and I'm not even sure if I'm gonna use this Arcane on my Stahlta, to be honest, as I'd like to use the primary fire of this weapon a lot too. So, and especially because of the fact that if you go below 20 bullets, regardless of the ammo efficiency of the weapon will just count as reloading, and that's gonna be it. Oh wait, when I charge the alt fire, you can actually see on the top right there is a stat. You see that? Arcane compressions or primary compression actually changes on the top right of the screen and shows me a stat, which, because I don't have my glasses, I can't actually see. So let me get close to the monitor. I think that says 829.44%. Pretty big damage increase, and you can see why it deals way more damage than Deadhead on the Altfire now, because Deadhead only gives 360% and this one gives like almost triple that. So yeah, very good for this weapon in general. I don't think it's an insane arcane, but for the Stahlta it's actually really good. Not sure why. And yeah, I said the wiki is wrong on the alt fire primary fire thing, but it might be because the alt fire of the Stahlta has a charge, so it actually benefits from that. I don't know at this point. This is such a weird arcane. Like, this is such a weird arcane in general. I don't know why you would use this on other weapons and why you would use this on an explosive weapon specifically, but like, yeah. For something like the Stahlta, this arcane is pretty crazy. And correct me if I'm wrong, but there have been no Eximus enemies in this mission. Like, they removed them or something. So yeah, maybe you could even use the trick where you add ADS after you land the shot to benefit from the explosive radius too. Although that will result in a bit lower damage, that's still explosive. Any extra explosive damage is probably good, especially since on this build I have Acuity, so even if I hit someone and then I wait for the explosion and it hits them, it doesn't deal much damage, so by ADSing I can benefit from that too. There we go. 668 million damage immediately. No Eclipse, just, you know, the weapon. The weapon with priming, ladies and gentlemen. It is what it is. It is pretty crazy. I would still go for Prime Firestorm on this, just because I like this benefiting from the Arcane the most, but yeah. I'm not sure if it's better than Bane mode, but it is a good alternative for Bane modes, which is really nice. Just really nice. Alright, let's see what it does on Torment. I'm gonna stun her. I mean, it did that with Deadhead too, so I don't see any difference personally, but you know, you might find something really cool about it in that case. One thing I'm thinking about, right, because this build is with Acuity, you could probably use this Arcane on a build that has to do with multi-shot instead, and that would allow you to get both of the good AoE and both single target damage, which is really cool. I'm actually gonna try it right now, like after this mission. I'm gonna extract right now and go try it with multi-shot and see how that feels, because I feel like if you actually benefit from both multi-shot and single target damage, it's gonna be good. Also, I'm using FSR 3. I think this is why this style set looks like this, which is a bit weird on the shadows and the shading and all that. I think it's a bug. It's on like specific rooms, but that might be this room specifically, because I've only seen this bug on like that exact room on the Void. I'm not really sure why. But FSR 3 so far works pretty great this update. It's actually like phenomenal. And my FPS are looking really crisp with it, so I'm really happy with that. It's one of the best additions on this entire update, in my opinion. So let's put my theory to the test here. Shit. Give me a moment. Well, thank God I got 2 Stahltas. I also decided that I would drop Serration because this Arcane just gives me too much damage anyway, so adding Serration instead of Prime Firestorm, I don't think it would be worth it. So I just did this, as this probably provides more damage than Serration directly from the Arcane, so I think that's fine. Let me also take Eclipse so we can test like single target damage maybe with this, with multi-shot instead of Acuity, and see how it feels, because I feel like for Void Cascade, where you know the Thrax are moving so erratically, you would want something that deals single target damage, like a lot of it, but you wouldn't have to mod Acuity on it, so you can actually shoot someone on the body and then just benefit from it. And Stahlta is like the best candidate for this, in my opinion, because the single target damage from this Outfire is probably the highest in the entire game, most likely. Like single target damage, not DPS wise, just single shot damage. So yeah, look at that. Now the Altfire, when you release the aiming, like if you just ADS and then un-ADS from this, you gain damage on both areas, like quite a lot of it. So I think this works. Look at that. That's actually quite nice. $266 million per bullet. The Thrax has an EHP of 100 something million. Yeah, for sure. That was without Eclipse, by the way. I didn't use Eclipse on that one. I haven't like even touched Eclipse yet. I'm gonna press it now. So yes, there is a new Stahlta build for 2026, and I think we're back to multi-shot. Like, this feels way better. You don't actually need to headshot. You just body shot and then you un-EDS after the Altfire hits someone, and then you get the extra damage from it. And I don't think it's that hard to get used to it, because the embed delay on Stahlta is just enough so you can actually benefit from this. What other weapon I wanted to try with this Arcane, which I will go to the sim and probably try, is the Tenet lens. Not that I think the Tenet lens, or not Tenet lens, sorry, Prisma lens. Tenet lens is not a thing. I always get confused because the Prisma lens got leaked as a Tenet lens, and then we actually got the Prisma variant, which I was really sad about, but it is what it is. But yeah, I want to see if it would work on the lens. I don't think it would, because the embed delay doesn't work in the same way. So you wouldn't actually gain any damage, you would just gain the ammo efficiency, most likely. Oh well. Yeah, scratch that idea. I probably know how it works already, depending on how Stahlta works. But dude, Stahlta with this build is actually really good. Like, this is an actual contender for primary deadhead now. And Acuity, like, multi-shot is kind of back on this weapon. I always said Acuity over multi-shot on this weapon, but with primary compression, it's probably multi-shot over Acuity for 90% of the scenarios, because you don't have to hit headshots and your damage is still nuts. Look at that. That's actually really nice. So, new Stahlta build for 2026? Yeah, let's check it out. I don't think I need to do this mission any longer and just drag out the video, because I think we know what the results are. Like, even if I wait for the Acolyte, he's gonna get one-shot at 100%. Like, it's not even close. Yeah, the new Stahlta build for 2026 is gonna be this, where instead of Riven, you just put Toxin, and then you use primary compression, and you aim down sights, you shoot the Altfire, and the moment the Altfire connects with somebody, then you un-ADS to benefit from the explosion radius of Prime Firestorm, and that gives you both good AoE and single target damage. This is actually so crazy. Wait a minute. This is actually really good. This is actually amazing. Like, hello? This makes the Stahlta even more powerful. What? Yeah, go try this out. I think you will like it a lot. especially if you have a Stahlta, if you like the Stahlta already, this is definitely an upgrade compared to the standard Acuity or standard multi-shot build, especially the multi-shot build, because multi-shot build, you know, it was kind of dead after Acuity got released, but this one is pretty crazy. I still think the primary fire is lacking compared to the Acuity primary fire, so there is that if you want to go for Deadhead. But for outfire purposes, this is actually like insane. It turns Stahlta into an insane single target / AoE weapon. That's really fucked up. I like this. I like this. I'm gonna propaganda this for a bit. I might create another video specifically just to showcase this more, or even a short video, because this is like really fucking good. This is really fucking good. I didn't expect this. We found this on the fly while making the video. That's actually really nice. The other weapon, Envoy. So, in case you guys don't know, this weapon is very interesting because it has multiple, and when primary Acuity was bugged, it also had multiplicative Acuity. With those two, you could easily hit the damage numbers up to like 1 billion very easily, with just the direct hit of the bullet with like this base damage. Now, because this Arcane just works on this weapon all the time, you can probably make this a good like disruption or single target weapon. I don't even think you need Acuity. I just find Acuity pretty funny. So I'm just gonna go ahead and showcase what it looks like on a disruption mission, because this was the other case scenario where I thought this would be good, because the Envoy is the only AoE weapon in the game with multico on its direct hit, and it makes it a direct contender so that you don't have to actually stick with the explosive radius, and you just make this weapon good for disruption missions. And it turns out it can actually one-shot any disruption target you throw it at. Like, it just one-shots anything. So that's pretty interesting. I'll showcase the damage without Eclipse on the first two, and then I'll add Eclipse on the second two demos, so you can actually, like, see. But if we aim down sights, we see 921.6%. And obviously, we use it against normal enemies. The blast procs will go crazy, which is a really good thing, as this weapon is innate cold and you can get blast procs very easily on this weapon. So if you do hit headshots, you do have still some AoE through those blast procs. And also the ammo efficiency is really funny. Oh, oops, I didn't press it. I'm stupid. Was main severely skill issued. So with Envoy, right? If we actually prime the target with compressor and then shoot it, then this weapon deals a ton of damage. Already you can see like direct hits 6 million damage, 6.3 million. It's really good already. And of course, one really good thing about it is that you don't actually have to stack this unless you want the multico. But look, 57 million damage. No red critting either. Like, this weapon can red crit like that. It was an orange crit. So I'm not sure if you should actually do multi-shot or Acuity. Multi-shot would be interesting because multi-shot would give you a bit more AoE, because you would be able to just get max stacks of blast immediately. But I think probably go for Acuity just to max out the damage. 59 million. Also have a Riven mode on this. I don't think I'd use it on this weapon because my Riven mode has reload speed, and the reload that I'm using right now seems severely bad, so I don't think I'm using my own Riven mode. Riven mode or no Riven mode, both of these weapons are really strong regardless, and primary compression is just a excuse for a different build on both of the weapons. I feel like for Stahlta, for general use build, you would still probably want Deadhead, but if you want to maintain like outfire, just make it as strong as possible, you would probably use the other one. So with Eclipse, all the buffs, good priming, we see 254 million damage. I think I don't need to say anything. You kind of understand what that means. Does it kill on level 5? Yes. Oh, Misery. I wonder what's gonna happen to her. I'm not even gonna prime her. Just stun. And then... Boop. Oh, actually, she doesn't get one shot. Oh my god, without aiming it deals no damage. Holy shit. Wait. Oh my god, it's so bad if you don't aim. Oh my god, it's so bad if you don't aim. Holy shit, I didn't even expect it to be that bad. So yeah, this only disruption, I guess. The annoying part about it is that this weapon has the aiming mechanic where the bullet just kind of follows your trajectory of the cursor. It's not bad. I really love this mechanic. I just think because it makes the bullet way slower, that you're in way more danger if you actually use a squishy frame while using this. So there is that. In terms of damage, it's not bad. Like when you aim down sights and turn it into a single target weapon, like this is pretty much the only explosive weapon you would want to do this with, by the way. And you saw my damage if I don't aim down the sights. It's absolutely abysmal. So I don't know. I really don't know about this Arcane. Boop. Damage is pretty crazy though. Like for what you wanted to do, which is killing like mini bosses or heavy units, that's good. That's really good. It just, you kind of ruin everything else about the weapon just to get that single target damage. So I don't know if it's worth it. This is such a weird Arcane, but builds it gives you a new Stahlta build for 2026, and it works brilliantly on it. So yes, there is in fact a new Stahlta build for 2026, and it's with an Arcane that's only useful for the Stahlta and nothing else in the entire game. What the fuck? What the fuck? Like, I just don't get the reason to use this Arcane on anything else. Like, let me know in the comments if you have any ideas for other weapons, but like, I'm checking my arsenal here. I'm like scrolling through weapons. I can maybe see the Toncore, but like, do I really want to ruin the explosive radius on the Toncore? I don't even know. And then no, definitely no. I don't even know if it works, because does this have a 6.6 meters? I mean, yeah, that might work. I don't know. Maybe the Shadow? I feel like the Shadow is a decent candidate for it, but like, I'm just checking weapons here just to think about it. Try it on this. Doesn't really work that well. The ammo efficiency is not enough to justify using this over like primary crux or something, so no, I don't think so. Like, sure, you have an explosion radius. Does it actually like convert it through the mod? It shows 2 meters on the screen. That would probably need some testing, but still, why would you use this instead of Deadhead or Crux again? Definitely not. The primary fire of this weapon is 100 times stronger than the alt fire. Dude, I don't know. Like, what weapon would you want this Arcane on? Not this one. Like, every time I look at a weapon with AoE, I'm like, no, probably not this one. Like, this one would suck. This one is like whatever. This one is this one is that. They said they fixed this, showcasing 100% base status chance, and they didn't. What the fuck? Yeah, I really don't know why primary compression is ever gonna be used on anything other than this weapon. It is what it is. Thank you, D, for helping me spread more Stahlta propaganda, but maybe this Arcane is a bit too specific. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Funny Arcane, funny weapon, and I don't see a reason to use it anywhere else. It is what it is. Thank you very much for watching another video of mine, and I'll see you on the next one.